that was one of those moments where I held my breath and I was thinking, oh my God, it's gone wrong last minute. I did pre-checks, I did lots of checks throughout this afternoon, and I've got the technology fixed. So let's get things underway. First of all, formal introduction. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Dave from Geekanoids, and I'd like to welcome you all to the live stream. This is a really exciting live stream as well, because I've got a few little things planned, some news for you as well. To let you know what I'm going to do, I'm going to have about 20 minutes roughly of questions and answers. So if you've got any questions, pop them into the chat and I will try and answer as many as I can. I can't promise to answer them all. And then around about 6:20, I'm going to be doing a live studio tour. So you're going to get a complete tour of the studio and bits that you haven't seen before, some new equipment as well. So that's going to be really exciting. Then after the live studio tour is finished, we should have time to do some more questions and answers. So stick around till after the studio tour for another question and answer session. Now, I know that there's some sort of football game going on tonight. Don't ask me what one it is. Now, I know what one it is really. I will be finished before the football. Football starts at 7 p.m, kicks off 7:30 p.m, and I will be finished 7 p.m. on the dot. I will say my goodbyes then, so you can all go and watch the football. And believe it or not, this is a shocker, I'm going to be watching the football as well. So yes, Chelsea, yawn, Bayern Munich, who are we going for? Well, I'm going to be supporting Chelsea purely because my son supports Chelsea and David Jr. is in the chat room, so no swearing because he's got absolutely no qualms about kicking you out. So keep it all nice in the chat room. So while I'm telling you some news, so I've got some very good news for you. Any questions, pop them in the chat and I will try and scan through them and answer as many as I can in this session. So the first thing I want to tell you is that I have got some new equipment in the studio. It's hiding, if I just duck down, I don't know if you can see it over that shoulder, there is some new equipment in the corner over there, which I will be showing you during this Q&A session or during this live broadcast. Second bit of news, and a lot of people keep asking me this on Twitter, is about YouTube partnership. Now, I can't say the exact details of the deal, but I am not a YouTube partner anymore. I'm partnered with somebody else. There's been quite a few of us moving away from Google partnership or YouTube partnership over the last few months. Now, my particular deal, my contract doesn't permit me to say who I'm partnered with, but I'm no longer partnered with YouTube. I made that decision purely because of the lack of response from YouTube when I had problems, a feeling of a lack of support as well. And this other company are very responsive and they serve up ads on my videos now instead of Google, and it just seems to be working very well. I'm very happy with the deal, and I haven't been a YouTube partner for about 2 months now. So that's the little juicy bit of news for you. And if you have got any questions, do tweet them to me about this particular deal. I won't be able to give you specifics, but I can advise you with regards to YouTube partnership or non-YouTube partnership. So let's kick things off with some questions. The first one, a very nice one from I Johnson. How are you, Dave? I am very well, thank you. I have had a couple of months where I've been a little bit down, but I'm back fighting fit now and making videos full time. You probably didn't see any difference actually over the last couple of months because, as you all know, I publish a video every single day. So yes, yeah, everything's going really well. Really enjoying making the videos. Testing a lot of equipment as well lately, which is absolutely awesome. The DSLR that I've got in, a lot of you know I've got a Canon 5D Mark III in. Really enjoying testing that. The video quality is absolutely awesome. Brilliant video quality, so really enjoying that. Nice haircut, Dave. Yeah, big difference. About time I got the haircut. I'll tell you, the reason I was growing it is because I'm going bald and I was trying to cover up that bald spot, but it just doesn't work. Don't go trying the old brush over method, just keep it short and it looks a lot slicker. Question, oh, this is a really good question actually, from Audi 12300. So the question here is, have my iPhone 4S issues been solved? Well, I've got my iPhone 4S here, and a lot of people were actually surprised when I got rid of my iPhone 4S. And the reason I got rid of it, just to fill all of you in on the reason I got rid of it originally, was because I was having signal issues, battery issues, and also some sort of overheating issues in this bottom portion of the phone. So I moved across to a Galaxy Nexus, which I used for probably about 3, maybe 4 months, maybe a little bit longer than that, and it was great, absolutely brilliant mobile phone. But I still was missing iOS. Maybe it's because I'm sort of in the world where I use Apple computers and an iPad, and I was just missing the iPhone a little bit and the fluidity of the interface and things just working as I expected them to work. So I did move back to the iPhone 4S, and touch wood, touch the desk here, this has been working brilliant for me. I haven't had any battery issues. I'm getting a full day out of it easily, no signal issues, and it is just working as I would expect it to. So I'm really pleased that I moved back. But that's not to say that I won't get another Android handset. We all know the Samsung Galaxy S3 is coming out soon, so I will be not changing back, but I will be reviewing that, and if it's good I might change again. And then we've got the iPhone 5 on the horizon as well. So yeah, I'm really pleased I moved back to the iPhone 4S. Let's see if we've got any more questions. We've got somebody here saying Dave's son is called Dave as well. Yes, we are both Davids. So there is a David Senior and a David Junior. Absolutely correct. Best screen cleaning product from I Johnson. That is a really good question. Now, I used to use iClear all the time. iClear do a whole host of different screen cleaners, and I was really sort of stuck on using that. It done a brilliant job of cleaning my sort of device screens. And then throughout the last couple of years, I've tested a couple of new ones. One of them was the Brasso Gadget Care, and that's a really good product. I'll tell you why. It's more of a gel product rather than a spray. And I found that when I was cleaning the screen, it left a nice film on the top. And that film did sort of repel fingerprints quite a bit. So for something that adds something to the screen as well, I would say Brasso Gadget Care is a really good choice. There's also the Muck Off range of screen cleaners. They started off doing bike products, and then they moved across, probably a wise move on their part, to doing screen cleaning products. And that's really good. You can get big bottles of that or little tiny sort of handheld ones. And the Muck Off cleaner does a brilliant job of just keeping your devices clean. So if you want something cheap and cheerful, just get a little bottle of that. It lasts absolutely ages. Absolutely ages. Have I read the Steve Jobs biography? Yes, I have, but not through to the finish, purely because I just get so busy. I was considering ordering the audiobook of it because I get a lot more time to listen rather than to sit down and read a book. So, but I have read most of it, and it is an absolutely awesome read and a real eye-opener when it comes to the background about Steve Jobs. So totally would recommend it as a read. Very, very interesting. Next, this is a really interesting question actually. iTech Everything has asked, do you think the Mac Pro will be discontinued? I've got strong views on this. First of all, I hope they don't discontinue it, because the Mac Pro is a brilliant professional desktop machine, and it offers up the expandability, obviously the ability to put 4 drives in it, max it out with memory. You can put an SSD in it and still have room for 3 serial ATA drives as well. And I really will be annoyed if they do discontinue that line. But over the past year and a half, 2 years, Apple have really been shifting from being what I would say a computer company to a consumer electronics company. So I think that we might see just one more Mac Pro and then it will change. I don't think it will stay in its current form. I think they might revise it slightly. So we might well see the Mac Mini go and the Mac Pro go, and there'd be a completely different offering in the desktop lineup. That's just my views. I hope they don't get rid of the Mac Pro, because it is just brilliant, and for professional users, video editors and people like that, it is probably the only choice. I know the iMac does a really good job, but for somebody who wants a separate desktop and screen, I really hope they keep the Mac Pro or something similar to it in their lineup. So, have we got any more questions? Because this chat is going so quickly. While I'm just sort of scanning the chat, I will just say thank you to everyone who's tuned in. If everyone can just tweet out a link to the live stream, that's at geekanoids.co.uk/live, I would really appreciate it. It's just so we can get these numbers up for the live studio tour, which is happening in about 7 minutes time. So what else have we got? Any more questions in the chat? Let's have a little scroll up and see what we've got. The chat is going mental, and it makes it so hard to actually read the questions. Here we go. We've got Andrew K. Vokle. What is your favourite YouTube channel? Well, I've got a few favourite YouTube channels really, but I think the one I'm probably watching most lately is Frono's Photo. That's Jared Poland. And I think the reason I'm watching him more and more lately is because he's getting his hands on the photography gear nice and early. So like with the Nikon D800, he opened that way before a lot of people in the UK could even get their hands on one. And he does a great sort of coverage of anything to do with photography, including a lot of photo critiques as well. So I do watch that very regularly. Also Digital Rev. I love Kai's style of presenting, and Digital Rev really show the cameras off to their worst or best abilities. Now, even though Digital Rev sell the products as well, so they could just say good things all the time to try and make you want to buy them, they really do say if something's bad. So I do think their integrity in the way they review is very good. This is a really good question as well from, if I can just grab it before it disappears, Senior Mac User has asked, do you think GPS on a camera is a must? No, I don't. I don't think that is an essential feature on a digital camera. I think it's a nice addition for some people, especially if you're doing events photography, to be able to have something geotagged with the location as you're taking photos is a very useful feature. But for the most of us, I don't think it's essential. I think it's just an additional feature that helps them sell cameras. So sort of like a marketing feature that they add on. And you see this sort of making its way down into lots of different level price points now for cameras. For myself, I never really used GPS. Maybe if I was on holiday, I might switch GPS on, but for most of the time, I would probably run with it off. That's just me. That's just me. I mean, what do you think? Do you think GPS is a worthwhile feature? You need to leave me some comments or sort of tweet me about that and just let me know what you think. I'm always interested to hear what you guys and girls think as well. What have we got here? Oh, this is a non-tech related question. Dave, when you had a Vauxhall Corsa, what model did you have and what litre? This is from Darren Dunn. Now I know Darren's been looking for a car lately and he really likes Vauxhall Corsas. And actually my Vauxhall Corsa was a favourite with both myself and my son. And it was a 1.1 litre, it was a club. I think it was about 8 years old, something like that. And I found that engine size was perfect. It might have even been a 1 litre, it definitely wasn't any higher than 1.1. So yeah, definitely a very, very good car. The level of equipment on it as well was really good. So absolutely loved it. Have we got any more questions? Why didn't you use Vokle from PD Tech HD? Let's have a little chat about this. So Vokle or Livestream, this comes up a lot in the questions when I'm doing a live broadcast. Now, whenever I used to use Vokle, as soon as the amount of people viewing in went over about the 50 mark, it seemed to start stuttering. It's got some brilliant features where you can actually display questions on the screen. You can actually invite other people in to do video chat as well. But when you invited people in to do video chat, unless they had really good headset on and separate microphone, there was always this problem with feedback and echoing. So whenever I used Vokle, it used to end up with a lot of people complaining, saying, oh, it's awful to actually listen to, and the picture quality wasn't that great either. So I switched back to Livestream. Now, I haven't used Vokle for a long time, so maybe they've improved things, and if they have, then I'd definitely give it another go. So I'd be really interested again to hear from all of you guys and girls in the comments what you think. Do you use Vokle or Livestream? Do you think that Vokle have got the issues sorted out, or is there a better service somewhere, better than both of these services that we can use? Because live broadcasting is definitely a way of the future, and it's definitely something that I want to continue doing so that I can share these live broadcasts with you. Let's have a look and see if we've got any other questions in the chat room, and then I'm just going to get ready for this live studio tour. So I've got a question here from iPad Up. Do you jailbreak, or have you ever jailbroken? Well, yes, I have. I've never done a jailbreak on an iPad, but when I had my iPhone 4, I jailbroke it, and it was great because you've got all that extra customization. You could have widgets, you could have notification bar, you could have information on your lock screen. Just some brilliant apps were available, and customization. The fact that I could have icons all different shapes and sizes made it really unique. The reason I moved back was because over time my jailbroken device seemed to slow down. Now, that might not happen for everyone, but certainly for myself it seemed to just get sluggish over time. So when Apple announced iOS 5 and I upgraded to that and we got notifications, it sort of satisfied my needs, and I went back to what I thought was a more stable operating system. And it should be more stable because, after all, Apple make it for their device. So again, let me know in the comments or in the chat what you do. Do you actually jailbreak? You know, am I missing something? Because it's something I'm not against, it's just something that I choose not to do at the moment. So I've got one thing to do. I'm going to disappear off camera just for 30 seconds, and I'm going to get ready for the live studio tour. And basically on this live studio tour, you're going to be seeing everything that I can see. So I'm going to guide you through the all the bits and pieces in my studio. I hope you enjoy it. Whilst I'm doing the studio tour, I won't be able to answer questions in the chat. So get ready for the live studio tour. If everyone can tweet out again, I'm just going to put a very quick message in here. If everyone can just tweet this out, that would be absolutely awesome. And then I will get on with the studio tour. So if everyone can just tweet that out, I'm going to grab my camera because it's actually on a tripod at the moment, and I'm going to do the live studio tour for you. I hope I've got long enough wires to go around the whole studio, but just sit back and enjoy. And I'm going to present this as an actual video, so if there is any problem with the video glitching on Livestream, I will be uploading the live studio tour to the Geekanoids channel tomorrow. But please do stick around, because after the studio tour I'll be doing some more questions and answers. So let me grab this camera and we shall start. Just got to flip my screen around, so you should be seeing what I am seeing. So here we go, so you can see the live stream just up there. So I'm going to present this as a normal video, so let's get things underway. So welcome everybody to the live studio tour of the Geekanoids studio. For those of you who didn't see my studio tour the first time round, I will be putting a link underneath this to the very first live studio tour. So when I first moved into this room to actually make all of my videos. Please enjoy, sit back, and I will guide you through what I use to produce the videos on the Geekanoids channel. So let's start on the desk. Let's start on the left hand side of this desk. Now, the microphone that you're seeing here is the EditorsKeys SL300. It's a USB microphone, and I actually reviewed this a short while ago, and I was so impressed with it, I've actually kept it as part of my recording equipment. Now, the reason I've done that is it does very good audio, and I use it for all of my voiceovers, so a very good microphone. It comes in around about £100, just under £100 to purchase this. The additional bits that you're seeing on the mic stand here, this is just a cheap pop filter, and this is off of eBay, and that's going to cost you around about sort of £6 or £7 off of eBay. They're not very expensive at all, but well worth adding one of these to any microphone, because when you're sort of speaking and you're doing words that begin with P, for example, it stops you getting horrible pops and clicks in your audio. So moving just down underneath the microphone here, this is the microphone stand I want you to concentrate on first of all. This is a Hercules microphone stand. It's got a very, very sturdy base to it, and if I just come around to a side view, you can also sort of adjust the height of it very easily using this section here. And then round the back there's a little catch, which means you can actually lift the whole microphone off. Really easy to use, and again, the Hercules stand is not that expensive. It's probably round about sort of the £20 mark to buy one of these Hercules stands. Now, just behind the stand you can see one of my speakers just down here. This is a Palo Alto Cubik speaker. Again, I reviewed this on the channel probably about 3 months ago now, and I will be putting a link to all of the products that you see in this studio tour in the video description. You might even find that some of these items are clickable and it will take you to the relevant video. So that's one of the speakers, and then the other one's just sitting over in that corner over there. Just behind my monitor here, it's not in use at the moment, but that's the BlueLounge Sumo, that's for cable management. And then just coming round to this side, this is a Lexar USB 3 card reader. This reads compact flash and SDHC cards. Really useful little device this, and it sort of pops up and down like so, so you can gain access to the slots. Really good and fast for getting data on and off your memory cards. Now, the two memory cards sitting down here, I probably own about 30 of these memory cards, but these are the main two brands that I use all of the time. The first one here is a Sandisk Extreme Pro, 45 megabytes per second. Very, very fast card. And then sitting next to it, we've got an even faster card, a Lexar Professional card, 16 gigabytes, 600 times speed. I think that maxes out around about 90 megabytes per second, so very, very fast card. You're going to pay a premium for this sort of card, but it's well worth getting a fast card if you do a lot of video work. Then just here, we've also got my iPhone. This is my iPhone 4S in white, absolutely love it. Probably the best mobile phone on the market still. These Android phones that are coming out are challenging it, yes, I will admit that. Really looking forward to seeing the Samsung Galaxy S3, but the iPhone 4S, definitely the best phone for me anyway at the moment. And then coming forwards on the desk, here we have got my iPad 3. I went for it in the white, and again, great for consuming media. I use this for business use as well, so if I don't want to take a laptop whilst I'm on the move, then the iPad 3 comes along with me. And then we'll just move around. Before I finish the desk off over there, because there's a few more things on the desk, I'm just going to stick to this side of the room, because we've got a few bits of my recording equipment here. Now, first of all, these are my Roto Lights. You sort of click them on like so. I'm going to blind you all here. So these are my Roto Lights, and this is what I place either side of products when I actually review them. They're sitting on top of Vanguard SP31 tripods. They're little mini table tripods. Now, the tripods are probably around about 25 to 35 pounds, and the Roto Lights come in at around about £90 each. They are quite expensive, but you can see you can add these different gels inside and they diffuse the light. They're great for doing product reviews. And then just to the side here, I've just got a Griffin audio cable. I use this if I'm connecting a wireless mic to my camcorder, and that is purely because it's a nice high quality cable, so definitely worth getting a high quality 3.5mm audio cable. And then just in front here, we've got my glasses case for some reason. And then this is one of my heads for my photography. I use this with my slider, which I'm going to show you in a short while. And this is a Manfrotto 494 head. And that just allows me very quickly and easily to put whatever camera I'm using onto my slider. And then this is a new addition to me. This is the X-Shot. You can get these at xshot.com, and this is extendable. I can't extend it because I've only got one free hand, but it allows you to put a camera on the threaded mount here and then sort of take self videos or sort of video yourself while you're vlogging. And I've been using this in some of my latest vlogs on the Geek Vlogs channel. It allows you to sort of extend it way out and get a nice shot of yourself and whatever you're videoing. So a really great little device. And then just behind here, I don't know if I can show you this without pulling all my wires out, but this is my Glidetrak. This is a Glidetrak Hybrid, and that's my slider. You can just see it down to the floor there. And this is what I use for doing panning shots in some of the videos that I produce. Don't use it too much on YouTube, but for the commercial videos, I use the Glidetrak a lot. It's about 1 meter long, I think, that one. And then just before I move over to show you the camera, this is the famous spinning table. So I have still got the spinning table, and I used to use this a lot for my videos, not so much now, but it has still remained inside the studio. And then just under the desk there is another tripod. That's another Vanguard tripod. It's an Alta 204 AP tripod, which I use mainly for mounting the camcorder, not the camera. And then let's have a look at the newest addition to the studio. This is the 5D Mark III. And it's sitting on top of a Manfrotto video head and carbon fiber tripod. This is my main tripod that I use for the videos. The actual tripod base is a 755 CX3, and this is a 501 HD video head. It's one of these fluid heads, so you can actually, it's got like a counterbalance weight, so if you move it, it will actually go back into the right position. I've got that feature turned off at the moment, but it sort of self-levels, and it allows you to do beautifully smooth panning shots. And then of course sitting on top of that video head is the Canon 5D Mark III, and then we've got the 16 to 35 millimeter L lens from Canon sitting on top of the 5D Mark III, and this has just been unboxed on the Geekanoids channel. Again, links to all of these products will be underneath the video, and I'll even put annotations on some bits so you can click through to the videos. But this 5D Mark III, before I move on, is an awesome camera, full frame camera from Canon, and it will become the main camera that I use for the Geekanoids channel videos. And then a very quick look just over here. This is one of my studio lights. Now, normally I have these facing the other way round, but I didn't want to blind you when I was showing you this. But I've got 3 of these, and normally I have 2 on whilst I'm recording. And normally they're facing me with diffusers, but I put the umbrella on behind it just so that you get to see what I use. But I don't have them normally set up like this. And then we just move around. There is a sofa there which I sit on whilst I'm testing media centers. And then over in the corner there, and I'm going to have to do a wide angle shot for you on this because I'm actually running out of wire. We've got the chair where I sit to do my iPad reviews, and then on the table there, now you're going to see a wide angle view, but if you watch the uploaded video from this, you'll see some new kit just sitting there. There is a GoPro Hero 2 HD camera. It's one of those action cameras, and I will be actually using this to produce quite a lot of my videos, and you're going to see this in action probably around about the beginning of June. And then just over the back of the room there, I've got an iBook and then Mac format, which I sort of read very, very regularly. And then we just come round here. So we'll give you a little look at a few other bits in the studio. So these are the 2 sort of stools that I use. I use these for some of my product shots, and also I use them to sit on if I'm just doing a quick sort of chat to somebody. I've used them on occasion, not too often, and they also appeared in that famous Mario video that you all saw. And then moving around here, we have got the Dyson Hot. This is one of their really cool products for heating. Another one of those chairs. And then just coming around here, that is a Rel T5 subwoofer, and again this setup on the left here is what I use when I'm testing media centers and bits and pieces that require a screen. So if I'm doing game reviews, then I use this screen here. It's a 46-inch Sony Bravia TV. And then just underneath the TV, if I just go down here, you can see an OnLive console, and also under there a Hopag PVR capture, which I use for the gameplay footage, and that's connected over to the Mac Mini, which you'll see in a short while. And then just underneath there we've got an Xbox 360, we've got various controllers charging, a PS3, and then we've got an AV amplifier, and what have we got here? We've got a Blu-ray player, and then a Extreme base station from Apple just tucked away under there. There are a few more bits that I can just about show you. There's sort of a quality of service Ethernet switch just tucked under there as well, made by Netgear. It's a really good product actually, and well worth getting something like that if you want to connect consoles to it. We've also got a little headset, Bluetooth headset there from Sony, and then coming up on top we have got Microsoft's Connect, and then one of my speakers. It's a monitor audio radius speaker. And if I just come around here, I've got one of these both sides. I've got two of these radius speakers, one here, and then if I zoom all the way around out to this angle, we've got another one up there, and then another one up there. So these are the sort of surround sound speakers that I use whilst I'm testing media centers and games and watching the odd film or testing a subwoofer. This is all of the system that I use for doing those sort of reviews. Then we've got a couple of my pictures. Now you've all seen this one. This is the New York 5th Avenue Apple store, and this is printed onto a canvas just to decorate the studio. And then this one is probably my favourite actually. This is the Steve Jobs canvas that I got printed. Now when Steve Jobs sadly passed away, I was considering taking that down but decided to keep it up there. Let's move down to this part of the studio. We have got Logitech wireless keyboard, a Dell mouse, and the Alienware X51, and this is the latest addition to the studio probably when it comes to computers, and I'm really enjoying testing this actually. I'm not a Windows fan, but this is going to allow me to test some PC software from time to time. And then we just continue to look at these. These are really cool. A company called red5.co.uk sent me these, and these are coasters. Really cool coasters actually, and they've just got sort of LMAO, WTF, LOL and OMG on them, so a little bit of fun there. And then we've got the BlueLounge Nest just tucked away in the corner there with my knife for opening products, and a Nuka watch. This has got like a rotating face on it, and I love watches, and this is sort of a really cool watch. Let's give you a little closer look at that. Very cool indeed. And then just tucked away under here on this bottom shelf here, we have got my Hainel MK100 mic, my Rode Video Mic Pro, my Olympus LS5 recorder just at the back here. Then we've got my Olympus LS100 recorder, and these two recorders, this one and this one, I've covered these both on the channel, and these are used for off-camera audio. And then we've got here a product that you'll be seeing on the Geekanoids channel very soon. This is the Samsung Airline Micro. This was sent to me by purelygadgets.co.uk, and I've been testing this over the last couple of weeks. Very, very good audio quality and an awesome wireless microphone system. Then we've got Blackberry Playbook at the back here again. I'm testing this at the moment, be bringing you some coverage of this. And then round on this section here, I've got my Hainel Twin V Pro, which is a charger, and I can charge a couple of batteries at the same time. Then we've got my Sony HX20V, which is again a new addition for me, but this is the camera I've been using for my vlogs on the Geek Vlogs channel. And then a little hidey hole around the corner here. You're not really meant to see this bit, but I've just got a spare cable here, a spare battery for my camcorder. I've got a variable ND filter at the back here, and the Canon 50mm 1.4 lens. And then here is my favourite laptop. This is my 13-inch MacBook Air, and I absolutely love it. Awesome laptop, and it's got a spec see-through case, a satin one actually, on the laptop. Really cool laptop, and I absolutely love my MacBook Air. This is an awesome laptop. If you need something that's good performer, nice and light to take out with you, then MacBook Air all the way. And then just before I show you my little toys up the top here, this is just some of the review products I've got stored down here. Some I've already reviewed, some are coming up soon. I've got some gaming mice there that are coming up on the channel soon, and also a Video Studio Pro X5, which is something I'm going to be uploading tonight actually, and there's going to be a giveaway at the end of that video. And then on the tops of my shelves I've got my Angry Bird, probably my favourite piece in the studio. This was a Christmas gift from David Jr. and I absolutely love it. Love my Angry Bird. And then we've got some domos. People are always asking what these are. These are domos. Lovely little figures, and I use these in my photography and video tests. Then we've got a little Western Digital figure. We've got my little mini MacBook Air. And then we've got my Toy 2R figures with a domo in the middle. And again, these Toy 2R figures are the figures that I use in some of my video and photo tests. And then up the top here, we've got an old Olympus Trip 35, which is an actual film camera from the days of film. So let me just move back to complete this desk portion here, because there's a couple of bits I haven't covered. The first thing I'm going to show you here is the tripod that the camera was mounted onto a minute ago. And this is a Manfrotto Modo 785B. Very, very simple tripod, but it's nice and compact. So I had my camera and my web camera mounted on this a short while ago. And then central position on the desk is the monitor that we're doing the live stream on. You can see the live stream window there. And this is an NEC Multisync EX231WP. Very nice monitor, 23-inch, and it performs very well indeed. And then just coming down onto the desk, I've got a Logitech solar keyboard. I think it's a K750, and again, this is a really nice alternative to the Apple wireless keyboards, and it's got these solar panels on it as well, so it actually charges from the sunlight or from any sort of light really, and it keeps the internal battery charged up, and I've had no issues with this at all. Really good keyboard. And then Apple's Magic Trackpad, and then just down in here you can see the Mac Mini, which is the computer that I use in the studio. Logitech mouse there, and a few other cables and accessories down the bottom. And then something that people always ask me, what do you sit on? This is the chair I sit on in the studio, and this, believe it or not, was from Tesco, and I think it cost me round about the £70 mark. Really comfortable chair, and I also got it because not only is it comfortable, but it does look really nice as well, and matches in with the rest of the studio. Now, a couple of things I almost forgot, and this is again because I get so many viewer questions. The desking that I use, this is all from IKEA, and it's a combination of table legs and just tabletops. They're very cheap, and the reason I went for this is when this tabletop gets dirty, you can swap these out for about 10 or 11 pounds. And then one last thing that I always get asked a lot on is back to the shelves here, these white and orange shelves. These were from Mojo Living, and they were round about the 70 to 80 pound mark, and you can put them in any combination, so I can stand these up in different configurations, and they just do a really good job of displaying things and being really functional as well. So that's it for the studio tour. I hope you all enjoyed it. Now let's get back to some more Q&A. So that's it, everyone. That is the studio. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me just pop this back onto the tripod. There we go. So you should all be seeing me again now. What about the sofa? Yeah, the sofa's just a regular sofa. There's nothing special about the sofa. So let me just adjust this a little bit so that we're getting a nice nice view again. There we go. So can everyone still hear me all right? You can hear me? Can everyone hear me? Excellent. That was just an excuse to get a drink. That's better. So I hope you all enjoyed the studio tour. It really does make a big sort of difference to me. That's my first ever live studio tour, so I do hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions about the things that you've seen in the studio tour, now's the time to ask them. So what have we got here? Let's just have a look. Noticed a radiator behind your desk. Does it give you any heat problems with your gear? No, I did some sort of research on this. Most of the time the radiator's turned off, but it's got enough distance between the back of the desk to dissipate the heat up, so no problems whatsoever with that. And the back of the desk has also got plastic on as well, so anything under the desk is not going to get the heat from the radiator. Mike is asking, why did you switch from the 11-inch MacBook Air to the 13-inch? That is a really good question. Now, you all know I had an 11-inch MacBook Air originally, and the reason I switched back from the 11-inch to the 13-inch is mainly because of these. Now, my eyes are not the greatest, but I'm going to tell you I did prefer the format of the 11-inch MacBook Air. Now I'll tell you why. The 11-inch is a true 16:9 format display. The 13-inch is 16:10 format, so it's a little bit sort of higher. The 11-inch one was awesome for multimedia use, but it was just too small for my eyes, so I had to go back up to the 13-inch MacBook Air, and it just made it a whole lot easier. I know you can scale text up on the screens and everything, but I like to use things as they're meant to be seen. I don't like to do this scaling thing, and I was just struggling a lot, so thus I moved back over. Now, something to add on to this is I'm really interested to learn that the new MacBook Airs might have these Retina scalable displays, so you can choose whether to use the full amount of pixels on the display, or you can choose to use maybe half of them. It's going to be really interesting if Apple do introduce that sort of display as to how they're going to implement it. Are we going to end up with tiny little text that we can't see, or is it really just going to add an edge of sharpness to what we're looking at on the screens as well? So, brilliant question. Thank you very much for that. We've got a question here about a lens, but the chat is going so quickly. Matt Pawley has asked, what is your favourite lens? And oh dear, it's gone again. What is your favourite lens, and what type of photography do you like to do? So my favourite lens at the moment has got to be that 16 to 35mm that I just purchased. Brilliant lens at the widest angle, and don't forget I'm using this on a full frame camera now. The 16mm is absolutely gorgeous. Really wide angle. You're not having any crop factor like you do with a APS-C size sensor. You've got a full size sensor, so 16mm is 16mm, and that's got to be my favourite lens at the moment. With regards to types of photography, I like a lot of types of photography. One thing I do really want to explore more for myself is street photography. I like the idea of capturing that moment, so I want to do more of that. I have done street photography before, but I want to push myself to really explore that type of photography a lot more. The other type of photography I really like is macro photography. I like seeing the fine details of things, but I've never really mastered it. And then again, I also like landscape photography. Not as much as the other two, but I can see the benefits of looking at beautiful landscapes, and yeah, I would like to certainly explore that in my photography as well. So brilliant question, absolutely brilliant. Skaboona 3, what do you think the best value laptop and PC is? Well, best value is often confused with price. If you're looking for the cheapest laptop, then you can pick up desktops from eBuyer for £199. Whether that is giving you the best value is another question, because you might find you have problems with it further down the line, or the performance might not be as expected. So is that really a wise purchase? Now you're going to hate this next response, because everyone says, Dave, you always say get a Mac. Well, I do think that the best value lies in a company that gives you good customer service as well. Now, my experiences with Dell, for example, with the Alienware X51, which is just sitting just off camera down here, has been brilliant. I did have issues with the optical drive. They came out 3 times to resolve it, and it has been resolved. The problem I had is, should I have had that problem in the first place? Should it have taken 3 visits by an engineer to resolve the problem? So it's still been good value because they've sorted the problem out. Has it been less frustration? No, it hasn't. It's been more frustration than buying an Apple. So I would say if you can afford the budget, buy an Apple MacBook Air or an iMac or even a Mac Mini, and then you're getting that built-in quality and customer service as well. Yes, there is still problems. Macs still go wrong. Of course they do. I've had faulty Macs before. My iMac went wrong and it needed a new hard drive. So every single computer you have probably will go wrong at some stage. I just put my money in the value of a Mac because I know it's going to be sorted out very quickly, and that's just what I prefer. If you're looking at good PC brands, then I would probably check out Acer or Asus. They both make reasonable laptops. And also the Dell Ultrabook 13, this new Ultrabook from Dell. That looks like a very good purchase if you're looking for something that runs Windows. So yeah, if you're in the Windows camp, maybe look at those. If you're looking at Mac stuff, then MacBook Air, Mac Mini or iMac, depending on what you need from your computer. So have we got any more questions? Best Mac for graphical use. Well, for graphical use, I would go for a Mac Pro or a high-end iMac. One of those two, I would say. What do you think of Sony Vegas so far, eCartman 12? Well, you've seen in my studio tour that I've got the Dell Alienware X51. Installed on that machine is Sony Vegas Pro. It's a Windows-based video editor, linear editor, and I'm testing that at the moment to bring you guys and girls a review of it, and so far I can see that it's got a lot of features. The user interface isn't as intuitive to use as something like Final Cut Pro 10, but it's got a lot of powerful features. That's all I'm going to say so far, otherwise I will spoil the viewing of my review on that one. I noticed you're using Google Chrome on your Mac. What do you think about it? Advantages and disadvantages. That's from Matt Pawley. So let's talk about browsers. Google Chrome and Apple Safari and Firefox and Internet Explorer, they're probably the main browsers out there. Now my main browser is Safari. Again, it works very well on the Mac platform. You saw me using Google Chrome, and rightly so. I use Google Chrome mainly for these live broadcasts because sometimes Apple Safari mucks things up terribly with live broadcasts. I don't know what it is, but sometimes it throws a fit and it crashes out, and I get a lot of Java issues with Safari. So I find Google Chrome very stable, but I don't use it enough to make it my default browser. I used to use Firefox a lot, no longer use it. Internet Explorer, not even worth discussing. Absolutely hate Internet Explorer. I tell you what, when I'm testing these PCs, like I've had the Alienware Aurora R2 or R3 lately, I've got the Dell Alienware X51, and when I sort of start the system up, you start up Internet Explorer to download something, and I bet you everyone does this. Tell me in the chat and in the comments if you do this as well. So imagine this scenario. You start up a new PC, you start up Internet Explorer, first thing you download, come on, put it in the chat. The first thing you load or download is Google Chrome or another browser. Correct? Absolutely correct. Everyone's saying it. So Microsoft have got it wrong so much with Internet Explorer. And have you seen Internet Explorer on Windows 8? It's even worse. So the first thing you're going to be doing with Windows 8 is downloading Google Chrome. Let's hope that they make a Metro app of Google Chrome to make things easier for us all. So brilliant question again, absolutely brilliant. Apps and hacks. Do you have an SSD in your Mac Mini? No, I don't. I was considering doing that, but I do so little editing on it. It's used mainly for the live streams, internet surfing. I also put sort of notes up on the screen whilst I'm reviewing sometimes, so it's mainly used for that, and I didn't see the benefit of spending another £100. Maybe I will someday, but not at the moment. Will I be doing Windows 8 reviews? That is a brilliant question again, and yes, I will be doing a Windows 8 review. I haven't done much coverage on it at the moment other than really just talking about it, but I will be doing some coverage on Windows 8, but only when it comes out retail level. There was some news about Windows 8 actually that I'll tell you all. There's something about June the 2nd. If you buy a PC after June the 2nd, you get a free upgrade or a shipping cost only upgrade to Windows 8. And it's going to be $15 in the US, around about £12 in the UK. But whatever version of Windows 7 you've got, you get that upgrade gets you Windows 8 Pro, so the top version. So check that out. When Microsoft officially announced that, you don't have to hold off buying a new system anymore. What do you think about the upcoming biopic about Steve Jobs? Mixed feelings about it, but it will be very interesting, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out. Rudolph, what other lenses are you getting? Well, at the moment I'm sticking with the 50mm f1.4 and the 16 to 35mm. These are for my Canon 5D Mark III. The other lenses I'm interested in are the 28mm 1.8 from Canon, the 85mm 1.8, and they're very reasonably priced lenses for what is a very good performer for low light. So they're the two extra lenses that I might well be getting in. Something else that I've been really interested in checking out is some of the Samyang lenses. They do some really long telephoto lenses and also some really wide fisheye lenses, so I'd be very, very interested in checking those out as well. So if there's any more questions, let me know, because we've only got 5 minutes left and then it's time for the football. And my voice is going. My voice always goes when I do these live streams. I think it's just because you're continually talking for an hour or more. Audi 12 3000, do you like cars? Do I like cars? I absolutely love cars, and I'll give you a car history of Dave from Geekanoids. Here we go. So I started off, get this, are you ready for this? I started off my driving career with a Lada Riva. I'll tell you what makes it worse. It was cream with a brown roof, and it had a brownie coloured interior as well, and it cost me £160, and the only thing I could do to make it look better, this was when I was like 17, was to paint the wheels white with gloss paint as well, not even with car paint. So after the Lada Riva, I had a Datsun Cherry, and unfortunately somebody drove into me, so the Datsun Cherry went. And then after that, I had a BMW 318. Now that might sound like a big jump, and as if it was an awesome car, but it was a very, very old one. It was red, but it was brilliant. After the BMW 318, I had a Renault 5. Then I had a BMW 7 Series, which again was a really old car. And then the best car I probably ever owned when I was younger was an Astra GTE with a digital dashboard. It was white, black interior, alloy wheels, really nice car. And then I got that about a year before the insurances for cars just went skyrocketing up. And unfortunately, my insurance went up from around about £300 to £500, I think it was at the time, to about £2,000. And this is like 15 odd years ago. After the Astra GTE, I moved across to a normal Astra because I liked the Astra but just needed something with a smaller engine. And then I've had a few cars in between, a few Peugeots, Fords, changed quite regularly on cars really. And then my car at the moment, as you probably all know, is the Mini Cooper in red, and I love it. absolutely love the quality of it. Very, very pleased. So any more questions? We've probably got time for one more question before I sign off and say au revoir. Let's go and watch the football. So one more good question and then we will say goodbye. What am I having for dinner? That is not a good question. Right, we'll take this question from Grand, a non-tech question to finish up with. Who will you be cheering for in the football? We all know it's Bayern Munich versus Chelsea, and I will be cheering for Chelsea, and that's because my son, who's been doing a great job in the chat, also supports Chelsea. So I'm going to end on that note and say I hope everyone who's watching the Champions League final enjoys the football. Thank you to everyone for joining us for this live stream. It has been absolutely awesome. You all know you can check me out on YouTube. There's the Geekanoids channel, there's Daily Tech TV, there's the Geek Vlogs channel, and you can also follow me on Twitter by following @Geekanoids, and I'm always happy to answer as many questions as I can. I do get a lot of questions, so if you don't get an answer, I'm not ignoring you, just ask the question again. Enjoy your technology, enjoy your football tonight, and I will see you all in another live stream soon. And a big thank you to David Jr. for doing the moderation on the chat, and to everyone who has come to join me in this live stream. I'll try and do another one really soon, but for now I will say goodbye, and I will see you all in the next one.